Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my performance review of the Puma triple basketball shoe. And this shoe is a budget model from Puma. It's very cheap. It's only 80 bucks. I guess, you know, $80, $70 is like the limit. You know, companies usually don't go cheaper than that. But yeah, this is my performance review. If you guys do want to get it, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And as far as the pattern goes, the pattern looks pretty weird. We have a triangle here in the middle of the forefoot. It kind of like circles out. And we have, I guess these are like flex screws maybe, you know. But anyways, the traction is phenomenal. The bite is really good, especially if you're playing on a clean court. Very solid bite. I would even say it's top tier. And it has a very loud squeak as well, which I enjoyed. As far as dust goes, it picks up a little bit of dust, but it's not terrible, right? It doesn't pick it up super fast, and it's also pretty easy to wipe off. So I would say every like 2 to 4 plays, you would have to wipe depending on how dirty the surface is. But like I said, it's just a pretty easy wipe. You just go boom, and you're good to go. And then you have really good stops again. So yeah, on dust, it was actually very good. Just remember to wipe. And then as far as the durability goes, durability should be really good. You know, the rubber is pretty hard. You got some deep grooves and you have a lot of grooves as well. And also the shoe is really cheap. It's only 80 bucks. So if you want to play with the shoe outdoors, the outsole will probably hold up and be pretty damn good for durability. So my overall experience for the traction was really good. I would say like top tier, and I don't know how Puma is doing this, but that, you know, I guess the rubber compound that they use in this shoe is really nice. So yeah, the traction was really good in the shoe. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, I had no issues. It felt very smooth. You know, we have a pretty curved shape. I'm just a little bit of a rounding here in the heel, but we have a fully exposed midsole, so it doesn't feel clunky or anything here in the heel. And then here in the forefoot, we got a nice curved shape. You know, Puma does this really well. I don't know, in my personal preference, like I like to have this really curved shape here in the forefoot. You know, it just really kind of propels you forward, especially when you're running down the court. It feels nice, very fluid. And also, as you guys can see, look at that. The forefoot is super flexible. So when you're running down the court, it feels great. It feels fluid. One thing I will say though, I guess it kind of ties into arch support and torsional support, but it doesn't seem like, look at the shoe right here, right in the midfoot. I don't know if they added, maybe they did. It feels a little bit stiffer here in the midfoot, but yeah, I would say the torsional support isn't the best, right? And now that I'm getting older, my fascia in my right foot has been hurting a little bit, right? And especially when I was playing this, right? So I was playing in the Jordan 36, which has really good arch support, has really good torsional support as well. I had no issues with it, right? And then I was playing in this, and then my foot would start hurting. My fascia would start hurting a little bit. And it wasn't terrible or anything. And I definitely feel like if you're younger or you have like strong feet and you work it out and stuff, you should be fine, right? But if you have pre-existing conditions and then, you know, like you've had problems with your fascia, you should probably watch out. The arch support isn't the best in the shoe. All right, as far as the cushioning setup goes, we got full length pro foam, and it's fully exposed, which is nice. You know, Puma likes to cage their cushioning setups a lot for some reason, but for whatever reason, they decided to not cage it really at all, right? And it feels okay. You know, there's definitely a little bit of compression here in the heel, but overall, I would say it's just stiff. You know, if you really want to feel the cushion here in the heel, you kind of like really have to dig. But when you're playing, you don't really do that as much, you know? So when I was playing, it was more just a responsive cushioning setup that's low to the ground. Impact protection, I would say, is adequate. Not the best, not terrible. And a compression, like I said, there's a little bit here in the heel. In the forefoot, it's pretty dead. And as far as the stepping comfort goes, it's still also pretty stiff. You know, like the insole's okay. You know, you get like a regular Ortholite insole, but underneath that, you get like a pretty stiff struggle board, which didn't really break in all too much. So yeah, stepping comfort like right underneath your foot is like pretty stiff. So overall, I mean, you know, it's a very responsive cushioning setup. And as you guys all know, for cheaper shoes, companies tend to like not put a whole lot of tech into it, especially for the cushion. And that's exactly what they did here. So I would say overall, like it's a good responsive cushioning setup if you want something responsive. You know, if you're a guard and you don't want anything crazy from your cushioning setup, then this is a great option. But you know, if you want something from your cushion like compression or bounce or, you know, good impact protection, then you're not going to get it here in this shoe. All right, moving on to the material. So In this shoe, we basically have a mesh material throughout this entire upper. It's extremely thin. It feels very, very soft. It feels very minimal, especially here in the forefoot. And it also conforms to your foot very well. We have some fuse here at the edge of the toe for extra added durability. But yeah, overall, it feels great on foot. Super minimal, like I said. Moving here into the midfoot, we got some like synthetic leather, which feels pretty cheap, you know, not the best feeling material. And then here in the ankle area, it's the same thing. For the tongue, we have an average amount of padding, you know, it feels okay. And then moving here into the ankle area, it's actually pretty minimal, I would say. The way this upper feels and the way the shoe feels overall on foot feels really minimal. I never really had to break in this upper at all, you know, it just feels really nice and very soft right out the box. So overall, although the quality isn't the best, but you can't really complain because it is 80 bucks, it gets the job done on foot. All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and it fits me really well, right? Lengthwise, I would say I was good. Here in the toe box though, this material definitely does stretch out. So it gets a little bit like roomier, you know, as you break it in, as you play in it, which kind of sucks because, you know, for me personally, I like to have a very snug fit here in the toe box. But right now, I would say it's okay. You know, not terribly snug and not terribly like roomy for me. So it's all right in the toe box. And then as far as the width goes, it's slightly narrow. So, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good fit for me. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit more snug here in the toe box, especially with this mesh material. But overall, it was nice. If you have a wide foot or you want a roomier fit in your shoes, I would suggest going up half a size. All right, as far as the support and lockdown goes, so it's not the best actually, right? So for lateral containment, I feel like I was good. You know, here in the forefoot, we got the foam coming up, which is good. We got some fuse as well. Here in the midfoot, we got this leather material, which isn't super supportive, but I feel like that definitely does help a little bit, especially because of this mesh material, right? And then here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment was pretty good, but like I said, this mesh material just isn't the most supportive, right? And for me, it was good. It was adequate. It definitely wasn't the most supportive material. Like I was switching around like from the Jordan 36 and also like the KD 14, which has good support. And I switched into this shoe and I definitely felt the material kind of like moving around on top of my foot a little bit, stretching a little bit as well. So like I said, it wasn't terrible or anything. I could definitely work with it. But if you're heavier or if you're a person that really wants good support in their shoe, this probably isn't the best option, especially because of this upper. As far as lateral stability goes, this is a pretty wide base and you're low to the ground. Like I said, there's no outrigger though, but it does protrude out with the midsole here. So I had no issues with lateral stability. So overall, I mean, lateral containment and lateral stability were good, right? But I just wish, you know, maybe they should have fused the material up a little bit in key spots so it doesn't stretch as much, right? But anyways, that's just how it is. So just watch out if you want like really good support from your shoe. All right, moving on to the weight. If I remember correctly, this is pretty light. It's probably like 11. Yeah, so 11.53 ounces. Let's check the right pair. 11.64 ounces. So yeah, overall, it's pretty damn light. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, it's a very lightweight shoe. It feels super minimal, especially with this upper. It also feels very responsive because the traction is really good. Cushion, you're low to the ground. It's also like there's not a whole lot of compression or anything. Support is pretty good. So I had no issues with my foot kind of like moving around in the footbed or anything like that. Like I said, it moves around a little bit here in the toe box because the material isn't super supportive. But other than that, overall, it felt nice, you know, very responsive. It felt really smooth. I felt light on my feet and it also felt super fluid. So I like the overall feeling of the shoe, you know, when I was playing in it. As far as the ventilation goes, ventilation is super good. You know, this material is super thin. There's not really like an underlaying material either. So yeah, there's really good airflow. So yeah, I mean, this shoe has very good ventilation and your foot's not gonna be that hot. All right, as far as the aesthetics go, I like it. I'm not a huge fan of how the mesh looks and also not a huge fan of these ribs on the midsole, but other than that, the overall silhouette looks great. I feel like you can also wear this casually if you'd like, but overall, I mean, for an $80 shoe, it looks pretty damn nice. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, if you guys couldn't already guess, yeah, this shoe is a banger, guys. This shoe is freaking amazing. And for 80 bucks, I don't know what it is, but companies are making really good shoes for super cheap. 80 bucks, right? So Puma has a triple, Nike has a Precision 5, the Giannis Immortality, which is freaking nice. Under Armour has the Curry 305, which is also phenomenal. Nothing else is coming to mind, but I know there are some other shoes. So yeah, I mean, if you're trying to save money and you want something that's not like the main brands like Nike, Adidas, or Under Armour, this is a phenomenal option, guys. And just the sheer amount of budget models that are really good performers right now, there's a lot. And I keep having to update my budget list because they're just all really, really good, right? But anyways, I would 100% recommend the Puma Triple. And again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.